And welcome to the Tom Clark Weekly Speed Report. I'm your host, Tom Clark, along with co-host Corey Carroll and Colton Jacobs, here to bring you weekly insight on all things NASCAR, with a review of past week's races and a preview of upcoming events on the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series schedule. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at TCW Speed Report. Email your questions to tcwspeedreport@gmail.com. Check out the Tom Clark Weekly Speed Report Facebook page, and check us out on iTunes and SoundCloud. And for the 2016 season, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I would like to welcome my co-hosts for the evening, Corey Carroll and Colton Jacobs.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's right. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wow. Forgot about that. We are kicking off our 2016 campaign. An apology to all the fans for not concluding 2015 with a championship episode. but due to Colton's passive aggressiveness, his newly diagnosed passive aggressiveness,
it's not my fault. I tried to get everybody on board, but
we
guilting them.
Yeah, like sending us sad emojis and stuff.
It didn't work. So
It didn't work. So congratulations to Kyle Busch on his 2015 championship, and we move ahead to 2016 with the final Sprint Unlimited, because after this year, it won't be the Sprint Cup Series. It'll be Panther Nation. Yeah. Keep pounding.
Yeah.
So we had that starting. Now 2016 it's like in the last week, all the rules have finally come out of what the cars were going to be like, what the racing was going to be like. Let's go over a short list. We've got the overtime line. We've got a chase now in the Xfinity and Truck Series. In the Truck Series, we've got a 20-minute clock for a mandatory caution. Let's see, what else we have? We've got Daytona Rising.
Yeah.
We've got the new charter system.
Your favorite system, right, Tom?
Rob Kaufman and his bunch of heathens cracked that shit up. And Nature's Bakery. Yeah, Nature's Bakery is new in 2016.
Have you tried any of their new stuff?
Sorry to Nature's Bakery, I have not had, because it seemed like they shipped their stuff out to stores.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, the stores were like, yeah, we don't like this stuff, and like quit ordering it.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we've got a 25-car field now. There was some, we were talking about it earlier in the race. Stenhouse got in by virtue of Tony Stewart not being able to race. And then NASCAR flipped and changed the rules because Steve O'Donnell is such a friggin' genius. And said, yeah, the 14 car can be eligible, but we need a driver. So let's put Brian Vickers in there, who was not eligible, to fill in that spot. So two drivers got in by virtue of a race of the rule book.
They're just winging it.
Yeah. I want to know how Danica got in there.
She get a pole? I mean, that had to have been the only way.
I'm sure the rule is like former Daytona 500 pole winners.
Is that it too?
I'm sure it's in there somewhere. She won the pole in 2013.
Yeah. So I guess she'll be in it forever, but she won a Daytona 500
I guess so, yeah. Hey, you got to make the rules the way you got to make them to make sure everybody gets in.
Might as well just let everybody in it.
Yeah.
Hashtag make the Clash great again. I know that's something that Dale Jr. had a T-shirt that had that hashtag on it. He's all about bringing back the Busch Clash, just previous pole winners.
I will like that. I will
from
like
the previous year.
I like that. I like that idea.
Which means he wouldn't have been in it, but it's fine.
Do you think they?
Well, he technically got the pole at the summer Daytona race, but it was by virtue of practice speeds.
Yeah.
Does that count?
Yeah, that's a pole. So.
Yeah. But anyways.
But yeah, let's make America great again, and let's make the Clash great again. Go Trump.
I was about to say, are you voting for Donald Trump Tom?
No, I'm not. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm not endorsing Donald Trump for
Who does Tom Clark
president.
endorse for president?
Let's just not talk about it right now. Still waiting.
Well, you're going to be faced with Donald versus Hillary, so you need to make that decision.
I'm voting for Gary Johnson.
Okay, let's move
on. So we've got the race. We've got to get the knock off the rust. We get the race underway And we've got, 3 25-lap segments? I didn't even pay attention to the way.
125 lap segment and caution, then 50 to the
Yeah.
end.
There seemed to be a lot of trash out on the racetrack that Brad Keselowski could not help but suck up into his own grill.
Yeah, DW couldn't stop talking about it.
And they were wassing everywhere. Whatever wassing is. Is that like walking and flossing at the same time? Wassing?
I don't know.
Do all the listeners we have, both of them, just wonder why we just make fun of the announcers the whole season?
Well, I just assume that based on the people I talk to, that they don't watch NASCAR enough to find any humor in our making fun of them because they have no idea what we're talking
It's
about.
just constructive criticism.
No, it's not. It's friggin' hilarious. That because the Fox portion is always our best portion. Debut of Jeff Gordon. He did a good job. He didn't stutter as bad as Colton said he did.
He did better tonight than he did in practice. He was stuttering in practice, so maybe he was knocking all the rust off and.
He's had no experience though.
They don't have no rust.
Well,
yeah.
he called some Xfinity races.
He's breaking
last
it
year.
in, is what he's doing.
Breaking it in, and
he called some races last year.
Yeah, he did stutter, quote unquote, but like you made it sound like he was going. Name is Jeff
that's not
Gordon.
how I did it. That is not how I did it. Thank you very much.
5 minutes to Wapner. 5 minutes to Wapner.
It's not how I did it.
Yes, you did. We were,
but he was stuttering in practice.
So
That's not how I did it.
Okay, so get the race underway. A lot of trash from the booth was saying some weird, stupid things.
Who was on pole?
Jimmy Johnson. I don't know how they pick the pole winner anymore. Still out of a hat or a bottle or whatever.
Stupid.
No, I think that's great. I think they should have other older NASCAR drivers who are still eligible. Like they should have like some spare spec cars for them to run.
Like Dale Jarrett,
Ken Schrader, that's. I remember the last shootout or unlimited he raced in. I don't think he ever knew what 800 horsepower felt like. It's just like he crashed like on the first lap. So, anyway, a lot of trash, and that seemed to cause some problems for some people. A lot of right rear tires being blown out. Couldn't quite figure that out.
Most notably Brian Vickers just tore his car all to hell.
Yeah, and didn't Ricky Stancis, he had some trouble too. He just can't drive, so that's his biggest problem. That's the biggest thing he's got to worry about.
Well, and he was back
finding
there.
a job.
He was back there all by himself.
I wonder if he'll qualify for Obamacare if he is no longer employed by. Will he have to pay the penalty? I'm sure he will. Anyway, so we move on. The race was pretty exciting. We saw basically the same thing happen at Daytona and other restricted plate races where the leader basically could weave back and forth and control the pace of the race. The restricted plate was a 64th of an inch smaller this year. That didn't seem to make that big of a difference. The biggest conundrum, though, that I think is when Kurt Busch went straight into the wall, and it took him 5 minutes to throw the caution. And then in response to that, all the drivers were anticipating it and all ran into each other.
Well, I mean, I guess they just weren't going to throw one for that. And then they had that huge wreck right after.
Yeah.
And that's what they threw it at. Because, I mean, there probably wasn't really much of a need for a caution, in my opinion. I mean, he just kind of scrubbed the wall a little bit, and he had control of his car.
Yeah. But I thought that was just like...
Well, it just goes back to show that NASCAR's... Because, us sitting here questioning whether it should be a caution, we should know whether it should be a caution.
Yeah, now that we
half
got
the time, they'll throw a caution for that, and half the time they won't. So
yeah. Now that we got the overtime line, that helps straighten everything out.
I wonder if it's one of those things like in football where, at the end of a game, they say the refs kind of swallow the whistles, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And don't, don't call the games as strictly. So I wonder if that has something to do with it.
I mean, after the Super Bowl, that's all I heard from people, these bandwagon jumpers for the Panthers, like, that was such a bad call. Like, which one are you talking about? That one? Like, there was a lot of them, like.
I mean, I can tell you which ones were the bad
that
calls.
One that he had the ball and he didn't have the ball. Like, all these stupid people. So that was the biggest conundrum. Let's talk about this new charter thing. I remember I had alluded to it last season, and I was talking like it was going to be a good thing.
It was I remember you talked about it franchising.
It's basically franchising in a sense. So apparently there were 36 charters for individual cars, not for teams, individual cars, for them to buy in and then receive a charter. It's good for 9 years, which I think is an odd number. 9 years, like why make? They've just had a sanctioning agreement with the tracks for 5 years, so I think make it 5 years. But anyway, Rob Kaufman and his group of sinners over there at the RTA or the Race Team Alliance, RTA, came up with this solution. It took friggin' all year, basically an entire year, to work out the details with NASCAR. But now I'm starting to retract my statements about this charter system because people like the Wood brothers were not granted a charter because they did not attempt a full season within the past 3 years or something. But they announced last year that they were going to run the 2016 season full time. So they're pretty disappointed that they didn't get rewarded a charter. So in my mind, a sponsor is going to be like, well, if they're not guaranteed to make the race, I don't want to put my money towards it.
How will teams lose or gain chartership, so to speak? I mean, if the Wood brothers, they're running full time this year with Ryan Blaney.
Yeah.
So would that make them eligible for charter next year?
I don't know. I have not. There's only so many details that have come out about it, and H. Scott Motorsports bought one charter, and then someone leased another or something like that. Or Stuart Haas bought a charter, and the other one leased it. And, really, when I stop and think about it, how's this going to... They already stated that the teams already get a certain percentage of TV money, of sponsorship money. All that's already been in place for a while. So, how's this going to affect their equity or their value? And who's to say that Rick Hendrick, after he retires and doesn't want to... He's going to hire someone else to run his team. His name's going to be on it. He's not selling his charter to somebody else and going to make more money than what he's put into it. He won't be able to make that money back in the little time he's got left to be an owner. I don't mean to say that in a bad way, but I think it was a stupid move. I think it was NASCAR buckling to the owners. But there's always been power struggles in NASCAR. NASCAR versus the drivers versus NASCAR. Now it's the owners getting involved. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. It does affect a lot of the qualifying rules and stuff like that for the 500. The last 4 spots. Oh, yeah, because the field has now been cut to 40 instead of 43, which I like even numbers, so 24, 48, stuff like that. So it was a pretty exciting race. I mean, again, nothing majorly spectacular about it, other than the wassing around a lot and holy smoly.
Oh yeah, oh holy smoly! And
let's do an experiment, Colton. You're gonna be Jeff Gordon. I'm gonna be Darrell Waltrip. Just start talking about something.
Okay, well,
that car. I mean, he got on the outside of him. He got him loose there.
But if we go,
when you get up there, and you got the stuff in the grill, and it's hard to get.
But
it's hard to get that stuff off.
That was a good impression.
That's what I felt that Darrell was doing to Jeff.
Oh, but the
and Mike.
Yeah, we're talking about the announcers again.
Because it's the funniest thing. And I was getting ready to get to that. Like, we were sitting there watching him. Like, I was making fun of that Jeff Gordon probably was on his tippy toes to be the same height as the rest of them. And then Colt goes, man, Mike Joy's got really long arms. And Corey goes, yeah, he looks like a damn orangutan. And
he also pointed out his fat belly.
Yeah, that's what made him the orangutan. Like,
King Louis.
King Louis. I want to be like you. Man's got fire. That's my desire. He makes like the hand trumpet and stuff. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting season.
Yeah.
Pretty much excited for it. Let's get to our championship picks. Let's get to our championship 4.
Yeah.
Who goes first? Me?
You're the host, Tom.
All right, so here's my championship 4. Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson,
Wow.
and Denny Hamlin.
Oh, no 48 in there.
I think I had Denny Hamlin last year too in the final.
So you
four.
got Hamlin, Larson, Harvick, and
Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch.
Yeah, as the final 4 going to Homestead.
Okay, and who's your champion?
Who's my champion? I'm gonna say Denny Hamlin.
Okay, Denny.
Yeah,
Finally gets him that championship. Joe Gibbs gets.
I think
2 in a
it's
row.
just. I think what Kyle did is going to rub off, and saturate the stuff over there
Yeah.
at Joe Gibbs Racing.
Well, I think Harvick's going to be there.
Gonna have your eggs over easy.
Huh? Oh yeah. Harvick, Jimmy, for sure. 22. I think Logano be there. I mean,
He's gonna be super fast.
Yeah, and I mean, call me sentimental, but I mean, I think he's going to put it all together this year. I think Junior's going to make it to Homestead this year.
Okay, he's got a good shot.
Yeah, but I really think Jimmy's going to get back on the train and
Thanks to
get
that
him-
overtime line, he'll definitely have a shot now.
Yeah, but I think Jimmy's going to get it done this year.
It's tough. All right, Corey. Man, he's breaking a sweat over there, thinking.
Yeah, I it's just so hard to say. This is like I've watched like 0.00001% of the laps of the season, and I have to like think about who's going to win the championship.
That's why it's predictions.
Yeah, but what are we basing this on?
Last year,
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I think Kyle Busch will win it. I agree with 3 of Colton's 4. The only one I'll switch out is Jimmy. I'll put Kenseth in there.
So it was
Harvick, Logano Jr.
And Kenseth.
and Kenseth for Corey. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I have
That's
to pick a different champion too, don't I?
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
If you think it's Jimmy, then or you didn't pick Jimmy.
Because I'm not so much concerned about this. I'm concerned about the fantasy, man.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to make my bones.
I always get to pick last in everything we ever do in life. So yay.
That doesn't mean it has to be different with your championship.
Whatever. If I pick Junior and he wins the championship, you're going to get credit for coming up with it first. Because you sucked worse than I did last year.
No, I'm not gonna get credit for it. He'll be your pick.
I'm going to pick Logano just to be different.
Okay.
Nobody picked Junior.
Yeah,
I picked Jimmy to win.
Oh, well, then I'll pick Junior.
Okay.
Sorry, when you was picking Junior to go to Homestead, you made it like a production, so.
Yeah, because you were like, I think he's going to get it all done, which to me means like he's going to like.
I didn't make as big of a production as Tom did last year with the Gordon. So
He's going to like sop up the gravy and butter the biscuits and.
Well, Tom's a drama king when it comes to Gordon.
Yeah, I was like screaming when Colton like fast forward through his like intro. I was like, "Oh, I want to hear what he says."
Yeah, you're like a teenage girl at like a One
I
Direction
would,
concert.
man. Trust, like I said, man.
You'll throw your bra at him?
Yeah. Hey, speaking of crying for Jeff, I didn't cry at Martins or when he won Martinsville. I didn't cry when he, last race. But I did tell you guys I did cry when I actually got to see his retirement or his speech at the banquet. So it's pretty emotional. So I did cry for Jeff. Still have a soft spot in my heart for him. So
I bet you have a soft spot.
maybe I don't. How did I get it? You want to know?
I bet you it's soft a lot of the time.
Yeah, it is. So look at old Murphy. All right, so let's move on to the Daytona 500. The Daytona 500, 43 of the world. Now only 40.
Well,
40 of the world's greatest drivers.
we did fail to mention that Hamlin won the shootout or the.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hamlin won the shootout, but he's getting close on fuel. But I remember, like, they went to commercial break with 10 to go. Corey's like, how likely do you think there's going to be a caution when we come back? It's like pretty hot. And what do you know, like, when we come back, there's a caution.
I also caught a caution on lap 42, and it came out on 44.
Lap 44. I said 47. Because A.J. Allmendinger drives that car, and he always
close
seems to
only
be.
counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, Corey. So
And I don't want to play either with that clown. Said Kurt Busch in 2003 when he punched Jimmy Spencer in the nose. I'm like, I'm just full of useless information.
but 500.
500. Let's go to the 500 predictions. Do I get to pick first?
Since you finished absolutely dead last
Okay.
and multiple hundreds of points behind, yes.
Now, there's one pick I could make, but I'm afraid of the repercussions. So
you just pick who you think's gonna win.
I'm going to make a separate one from that one. Based on his performance tonight, I'm going to pick Mr. Brad Keselowski.
Brad, if he can keep all the garbage bags off the front of his
I think
car.
it'll help him. Like it
Not if
helped
he does
Junior in
it on-
2014.
Not if he does it in the first 20 laps like he did tonight. It only did decent because he only had to go 75 laps.
Yeah.
Junior got his with only a few laps to go, or 10 laps to go in the 514.
Picked it up during a caution.
Yeah. So
So
Hamlin.
no, Brad
sorry.
Keselowski. Jeez. How does
All right.
that doesn't Hamlin doesn't even have the same amount of syllables as Keselowski.
Yeah. No, sorry. Well, I mean, since I got second pick, I gotta go Pied Piper. I'm gonna go Junior. Don't give me that look, Corey. If I hadn't picked him, you would have picked him.
See,
I know. I always have to pick last. God, I'm gonna pick Morgan Shepherd or somebody, so I have to pick first next week. God, sheesh. Heavy lies the crown. It's bullshit. God,
It's gonna be okay.
shut up. Fine, I'll pick Logano. I don't care.
You think he's gonna get 2 in a row?
Yeah, what? No, I don't. I think Junior's going to win, but you had to pick him.
see, and I hate to break it to you, but that was going to be my first pick, the one that I said I wasn't going to say.
Well, I know, but I mean,
Because I was afraid if I did it, he would wreck. Because based on last year, every time I picked somebody, but he did win 2 restricted plate races when I picked him.
yeah,
That's because you got to pick first.
yeah,
That's right.
All
But-
year.
I already made my picks, so I've made my bed. I'm gonna lie in it now. So
So Brad,
Brad Keselowski, yeah.
Tom, what do you think we need to watch for during the 500? What,
We need to watch. We need to audio. How do you? We need to audibly hear the flub ups in the booth. Like we need to be like super alert to those things. We need to pay attention to the emotional reaction to whoever wins. You know, is the Daytona 500 to these younger guys as much as it is to the middle-aged and older guys? You know, or they just do they say the same old song and dance just for the sake of it? Because
yeah,
another thing we need to look for is Chase Elliott's debut in a restrict plate race. And
check on these right rear tires, see what's going on.
check on these right rear tires. It wasn't that big of a deal, so I don't think they'll have to worry about it. But if it, I'm sure if it becomes an issue throughout the race, and look for how the green white checkers play out, because I will guarantee there will be one, at least one.
The right rear tires happened because those two guys were banging into people. I don't think it was a tire issue.
Yeah.
Vickers hit everybody on the track before he wrecked, and then he hit the rest of them.
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be that big of an issue.
All right.
No trivia tonight. We'll pick that up when that season actually officially starts.
Yeah. We'll have the Attaboy segment.
The Attaboys, yeah. Gotta remember those.
Yeah.
No weekly weirds because it hasn't been officially a week yet.
Yeah.
So-
We'll get to some weekly weirds at some point.
And
Whenever there's something weird.
just want to let y'all know Chase is going to do real good. And that Bill Elliott is back in the saddle again, man. There's going to be another Clinton in the White House. And Bill Elliott, I mean, because the thing of it is because I think I could still do it.
In that senior race that we were talking about today.
Yeah. And who else did I do an impression that was really good? You said
Junior Johnson,
Junior
Joey
Johnson.
Logano.
Yeah. So fast. Just so cool and so fast. What did I say that Junior Johnson would say? Something about, I don't know about this racing business. It ain't as fun as it used to be. Better stick to the hog business.
All sorts of business.
There's somebody else that I was doing an impression of that someone said that's pretty good. I think Colton said it was pretty good.
I can't remember.
He said you did a good impression of DW earlier in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was wrong with Daryl when he choked up on a stink bug or something?
Yeah.
I remember when Dale Sr. rode it.
Yeah.
He got possessed by the spirit of Dale Sr.
I don't know.
He's trying to fight back to say, I'm the best damn race car that ever lived. Best damn race car driver that ever lived.
Well, it is good to have somebody in the booth this year that's, as we talked about during the race, that's actually driven the
Who
cars.
seems to have a stuttering problem.
He was stuttering. I've got practice recorded. I will go back and show you.
Okay. What was he stuttering, Corey?
He didn't watch practice.
Oh, he didn't watch practice?
He don't have a stuttering problem. He has a midget problem.
Yeah. It's okay. He makes up for it in other places, you know what I mean?
I was about to say, aren't midgets well endowed?
It probably looks like a baby's arm holding an apple.
If y'all two know that, that's great.
I don't look up that midget stuff. Colton does. He told me. He told me in confidence.
I just found it on Corey's computer. That's the one.
Oh wow! Burn, baby. So yeah, it's good to be back with the Tom Clark Weekly Speed Report.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to be back. Things are probably going to take a different turn this year. We're probably going to do it every other weekend. Just for logistics' sake. And
we'll have longer episodes.
We'll have longer episodes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
More of a kickback, chillaxing kind of atmosphere.
Yeah.
Now that we've done it for a season, feel a lot more, not as nervous about burping and farting and cussing on the air.
Oh.
So, anything else anyone wants to throw in?
No.
Last call. 500, 525, 525, 555, 5, give me 575, 575. Going once? Going twice? Sold to the man. Yeah. I wonder what that's going to sound like. But anyway, thank you for joining me and my co-host on the Tom Clark Weekly Speed Report. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at TCW Speed Report. Email your questions to tcwspeedreport@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook, iTunes, and SoundCloud. And this is your host, Tom Clark, signing